Okay guys, so welcome to this video. This is actually what we will create in the next couple of hours, probably, maybe even less, but yeah, it's basically a blog website template based on Bootstrap 4. As you can see, we have some sort of very interesting color choices. We have like black background and then some green color as a primary color. In my opinion, it looks quite cool. So we have like 3 of those main blog posts around here in the hero section. Then we have some sort of other blog posts, right? Obviously I didn't change the titles, and then we have some sort of social links, some of our authors, right? So popular authors, and then we have some popular categories, so kind of badges, stuff like that. And then we have a very simple footer. Really nothing too interesting about the footer, but overall I really like the page, especially the beginning of it. In my opinion, it looks kind of cool as a blog. We've also created a kind of detail page, so when you click on a blog post, you should get to this page. Inside here you have once again the same header, then we have a site and some content of the blog posts. In the blog post, we have like some sort of images, avatar of the writer, of the author. Then we have the title, some badges, some categories of the post. You can maybe add even title and stuff like date and stuff like that. Then we have like the content, and then inside here we have some sort of popular posts, right? We have some social links. Maybe we could add some ad space right around here. And then maybe we could add like some sort of popular categories. That's right here. I think that overall the web looks quite cool. So yeah, it should be fun. Okay, so I opened my Visual Studio Code and I opened the folder where we will write all of our code. And as you can notice, I have a folder called image here, and there are a couple of images, and we will obviously use them in the website. Then I've also run a localhost server, but don't worry about it if you don't have some localhost. You can just open the HTML file in your browser. Alright, so let's get actually started. So I will just create a new file, and I don't want to create this in the image folder. I want to create it inside here. And this one will be called index.html, and index.html, basically the main page that will be displayed when you click on some domain, right? So I will just close this thing so that we have more space. And we can start out by typing the HTML, and obviously it is divided. Every HTML file is divided into head and body. So in head we have some metadata, right? So data about the file. So for example, title of the document, some SEO stuff, right? So keywords, description, and then we also have some links to let's say CSS, JavaScript, and other stuff. Well, JavaScript can go at the end of the body, right? But at the body we have actually some like the content of the file. Okay, so let me just type in here the title, which would be my blog template, and save it. And let's see if I reload this thing, there should be my blog template. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so you should be at this point. Cool, so let's actually import the Bootstrap library. So go to getbootstrap.com, and inside here is the Get Started button. So simply click on that, and there it is. In here we have the CSS file that we can just import to our project. So inside here is the cool button called copy. So if you click on that, it will copy it into your clipboard, and you can just paste it inside your project. Alright, so this will basically add the Bootstrap CSS to our file. Cool, so that's as simple as that. Another thing that we will need is some cool font, right? So I tend to use Google Fonts because it's for free and you have a lot of fonts available. And I really like this one, so let's use this one. I really can't pronounce it, but whatever. This is the name. And What we want to do is select some styles. I want to pick the regular 400 for the normal text, and I would like to pick the let's say the 700 bold for headings. You can pick more of these, but the more you pick, the harder it would be to load, right? So the longer it will take to load, and you want your page to load quickly, so that's why I just chose these two fonts. So I will just link this font, and then we will add it inside our style sheet. So style.css. But yeah, for now we have the font ready. And another cool tool that I often use is the font awesome, right? So these are basically icons that you can use for free, and since I don't want to download it and then extract it and stuff like that, I just want to use the font awesome CSS link. And this should basically allow us to import this. Let's see, maybe inside here we can find the actual some sort of link. Yeah, there it is. All right, so this should import the font awesome. You need to keep in mind that this is the version 4.70. So this will be the version that we use, and we need to keep that in mind when we search for our icons. So I will just right away type font awesome 4.7.0 docs, and this will basically allow us to search for icon names, right, in the 4.7.0 version, right, because there is already version 5 available, but obviously there's a lot of icons and the name changes, so you want to keep track of your version. Cool. So with all of that, we can actually get started and go ahead and type some stuff inside this body. So we will obviously start with the header. So I will just use a comment and use the header section like this, header section. I recommend you use comments to split your file into sections, because then it's much easier to edit it out later on. And the cool thing about Bootstrap is that this documentation actually allows you to use some sort of code snippets inside your project. So for example, if you want to use navbar, you can just type navbar and it will automatically suggest you a couple of navigation bars that you might want to use. All right, so this is one of them, and there is obviously a lot of these, so you can just simply copy, right, use this button, copy, and then paste it inside your project. It's as simple as that. And if you reload this, you should be able to see some navbar. There it is. So it's as simple as that, and this is actually the navbar that we can use. I will just get rid of this drop down because we didn't import the JavaScript. You need the JavaScript imported to for this to actually work. Alright, I will just add a couple of links so that it looks a bit better. So like this, copy paste, and yeah, let's just save this thing, reload this thing. And yeah, there we have it. I will just remove the disabled link because it would look weird, and I will just keep it this way. Cool. So another thing that we need to do is, as you can notice, we don't have any space around it, right? We want the navbar to be like, to have some sort of space around it on left and right side. In order to do that, we can just simply create a new div with the class of container. So container basically adds the margin to the left and right. I think it's margin, I'm not sure actually. So you maybe want to take a look at it and see whether it's actually margin or something else. But yeah, I think it's margin. And okay, so if I just put everything inside the div, all right, so we have the div container, and then inside it we have all the content of the navigation, and reload the page. Actually, you can see that there is some space around it, and it looks, in my opinion, much better. Cool, so let's just change this thing to our blog name. We don't have to worry about this right now. I think that, all right, we definitely don't need the margin right here. and other stuff, but we will handle it later on in our CSS file, right? This is just a basic HTML template for us, and then we will work with this in our CSS and actually make it look much better. But yeah, this is basically how our navigation should look like based on the HTML. So let's just move on to our kind of hero section. Let's just call this one hero section. And inside here, we will create a new section. So section is actually a HTML5 element, and this element basically tells the browser or the Google search engine that this is some sort of independent part of your web. And usually section is used to group for example, groups of articles, of posts, or something like that, right? So some section of your web. And let me just add the class to it. It will be class hero, and so that we can style it later on in our CSS. And then we will actually add the container, because we want the content of this to be in the container. We want the space around it. And yeah, then all we want to do is just use the layout. So we will use something called a row. So we have a div that have a class of row. And what it basically does is it divides the whole row into 12 pieces. And we can use those 12 pieces however we want. So for example, we want to say that we want to create a new div, and this one will have call LG, right? Call or something. 8 of those 12 pieces. So it will take 2/3 of our screen, right, of the available space. Cool. And then what is left? Well, we will just have the div with the class call large 4, and this will be the rest. Okay. Cool. That's pretty much it. So what do we want to do now? Well, we will have just some div called how do I call this? Hero post. All right, so hero post, because we will have other posts down here. So we need to think about how we want to call this thing so that we can style it in CSS. Okay, so this will be hero post. It will have a image, and this image will have class of image fluid. So this image fluid basically sets the image to be responsive. It will take a maximum width of 100% of the available space, but it will be responsive. It won't stretch throughout the whole page. So yeah, this is what we want. Obviously, we want to add the alt because like for the search engine optimization and stuff like that. And then we want to add the source to the file, and we will just go to images and just use the first one. So as simple as that. That's just how we got the image. Then we will have another div called with the class of hero post. How do we call this? Hero post content. Okay, so this will be the actual text, and we will have a image of the author, right? But we can just divide the space once again inside a row, and so class row like this, and we want the image to take approximately like call of 3, right? 3 of those 12 pieces. So let's just use div with the class of call md3, and inside here we will have our image, so the avatar image, right? So alt, and this will be actually our author, right? And once again we will add a class to it of image fluid, and also rounded circle, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure actually currently, so sorry if it's wrong, and we will take a look at it later. And we can just add like the person one to it. So person one, and actually close this thing, save it, and let's see how it actually looks. It should look pretty horrible. Yeah, there it is. So we have the image that takes about like call large of 8, right? So 1/8 of the screen, and then we have this one, and this one takes around 1/3 of those, like 3 parts of those 12 parts. That's this row, okay? Cool. So the other 9 parts. So div class call large 9 or MD. We've used middle. These will be used for the heading. So this one could be H2, right? This will be a really important heading. It's the biggest post. So my blog post and something something. All right. And let's reload this thing. It should look terrible. Yeah, there it is. It looks terrible. So yeah, it works. And all right, so this should be about it. We also want to add like some sort of badges. So we will once again add a div with the class of hero post badges. These will be just the things that will be displayed at the top of the image. And let's just use a paragraph for it so that it is simpler. Or like, yeah, this should be a href, right? So a link to, for example, some sort of category. I will just leave it empty like this, and let's just give it a let's say just technology like this. And all right, let's also add a class to it. So, or let's just keep it for our CSS part, or like the styling part of the web. So I will just copy paste this thing if I can. So wow, come on, man, what's happening? I cannot copy this. All right. And I will paste it because we will also need a date, right? All right, so it should be like just a date. And okay, so this will be our category, and then we will have also a date. So for example, 15 March of 2020. And we also want to add a icon to it. So let me just actually go ahead and really just start with the icons. So I want to add some sort of date, so some sort of calendar. Let's see which one looks better. I think that we will use this one. And inside here, if you click on that, there is an actual code that you can just simply paste inside your file, right? As like this. And yeah, it should display a icon. There it is. All right, so we have an icon, and then we have the technology. Cool. That's about it. That's actually everything that we need. We may want to actually add it into some sort of display. These we will fix it later on. So I think that I didn't forget about anything. Another thing that you can actually do is add, for example, shadow to it, so that you can actually see where is the element, right? So this is our element actually. You can see it via the shadow and how it looks. If you add, for example, shadow to this content, you will see what space it actually manages to have. Cool, so we can just simply, in my opinion, copy paste these things inside here, and we will have another 2 of them. And I will just change those H2 into H3s. All right, so because these aren't as important headings as the first one. So the first one could be something like main news, right? And the other 2 will be just about some sort of not important stuff. And let's also change those images. And yeah, so let's just reload this thing, see how it looks. Cool, it looks horrible, but this should be our simple basic HTML. We can also add some sort of padding to the hero section. Let's just give it a padding of 4, and it should put a bit of space between the header, this section, and the other section that we will just create. So the hero section is basically done. And then we have some sort of main block section. And this will be about our articles. So let's just give it a section tag with the class of main blog post. Or these aren't actually main, like let's just call it blog posts. This should make more sense. And inside this, we will actually divide the section once again into 8 and into 4. So into a couple of divs, right? So we will need the row div. So you need the row to actually divide the screen into 12 pieces, and then inside it you can actually use it. So you can just type call, and currently I think it would make sense for me to just talk you through those different options. So usually you can use call small, medium, and large. And if I use, for example, large, and on large devices I want this to take 8 pieces, but does it say anything about like smaller devices like phone and tablet, right? Really, it doesn't, right? Medium device is tablet and small is mobile phone. You can think of it simply this way. I'm simplifying things a bit, but yeah, you can think of it this way. And so it actually doesn't say how it should display at a mobile phone or at tablet, right? And it will be actually, if you don't specify this, it will take the whole screen on tablet. So it will take all of those 12 pieces. Okay, so on anything that is smaller than the thing that you specify here, it will take 100%, okay? And on anything that is larger, it will take those 8 pieces and equal, obviously. Another cool thing that you can do is just use, for example, you want on large devices to be 8 and you want on medium devices this to take 10 pieces. You can simply do it this way, okay? So that's as simple as that. But I just want to point out that on larger devices it will take 8 pieces. On anything smaller, if it is not specified, it will take 12 pieces. Feel free to play with this when you make the window smaller and see how it actually reacts. So with that being said, we actually want, even on tablets, right, this column to have 8 pieces. And then we will have some sort of aside. So this is once again HTML5 element. It's better to use those for the SEO because Google really likes it. So yeah, that's one reason to do. So in this aside, it's just the sidebar that you can see at a lot of web applications. So yeah, cool. So inside here we can have a couple of articles. So once again, HTML5 element, I really recommend you use these because it's better for the SEO, as I said before. And this will have a class of blog post. So class of blog post, once again, we can actually divide it into a row. So div of the class row, and we want, even on smaller devices, right? So we want even on call small, even on small devices, we want the image to take, let's say like 1/4 of the screen, and there will be a image. So it will have some sort of alt, it will have some sort of class, and this will be, the class should be image fluid. So it's actually fits the call, right? And the alt should be whatever you want, and the source will be some sort of image. Let's just use the 4th one. Cool, so this should be our image done. And let's actually move on to the content part. So inside here I will just create a new div with the class call large and the remaining part, call small, and the remaining part, which is just those 9 parts, right? 9 pieces of the row. And in here we will actually create the content. So we actually don't need to add a class to it. We can just create a new heading. This will be my blog post title. foo bar, whatever. And then underneath we will have some sort of paragraph, and I will just use lorem ipsum. So lorem ipsum generator, and it's as simple as that. There's a lot of them, right? You can use how many you want. I just want one paragraph, and I just want smaller text. So for example, something like this. Let me just paste this thing and see how it looks. So let's reload the page. So underneath this we should have a blog post. It looks fairly simple. I think the text is we can make it smaller. So let's just remove a part of this. I don't know. Let's just make it this way. How it looks? Yeah, it looks better in my opinion. So you want to obviously limit this in your PHP, right? When you generate those articles, this is called something called parax, and it's just a short description of your article. All right, so actually underneath this we want to have our badges. So div with the class badge, and there will be a link to the actual category, right, and stuff like that. So href, some sort of things, and inside it we will have the badge, so technology, and we can maybe add a class to it, but we can do it later on in the CSS, actually make it look better. Cool, but I think that if I just add a couple of these, so like technology, programming, and others, I think that this looks kind of cool in my opinion. If I'm not I forgot about the container. So inside here we want to add everything into a container, right? You can notice it by the image being completely at the edge, right? We don't want that. So I will just take everything that I created, so this row, and just Control X and Control V inside the container. So when I reload this thing, it should look a bit better. Yeah, there it is. Cool. So let's just copy and paste a couple of these articles, so that we don't have to actually write it. Like this, save it, let's reload this thing and see how it looks. Alright, so there is a couple of blog posts. I probably forgot to add some padding to it. We can actually do it later on in the CSS, even though there is a lot of classes, and we should probably, yeah, let's just use those classes that are defined in CSS. So let's just use margin bottom free. All right, so we will add a bit of margin at the bottom part of this, of every one of those posts, except for the last one, because we don't necessarily need it. We will also add some padding on the y-axis to this whole section, so that it have a bit of space around it. And yeah, that's about it. So let's just move on to the aside. Inside here we want to have those kind of social links. So let's just call this one social links, and this is just a section where we have those social links. And once again we can just divide this into a row, and then we want to use, even on small devices, right, we want this to still take third of the screen, right? We have 3 links, one on Facebook, then on Twitter, and then on YouTube, and we want every one of those links to take third of the screen, even if you're on your mobile phone, right? So we will use div class of small devices, call on small devices fourth, so it will take fourth of the available row. And inside here we will have just a link. Let's call this one social link. we will add a padding to it on the y-axis of 4, and it will take the width of 100%. So whatever is available, it will take it all. And yeah, then we just need to add the icon to it. So the actual icon is simple to get. So inside here, I will just search for Facebook icon. So Facebook. And there's a couple of these. I will use this one because it looks kind of cool in my opinion. And I can just copy and paste it inside here. And we can just simply copy paste these things so that we have it 3 times. I think the second one could be like FA Twitter. And the last one could be like FA YouTube Play, if I remember these correctly from my head. So if I reload this thing, yeah, there we have it. So this is the Facebook, Twitter, and then YouTube Play button. So cool, we will style this later on, so don't worry about it. Yeah, we also need to add the text to center. So we need to align the icon to the center actually. And I will just paste this couple of times, so like this, save it, and let's reload this thing. It should be centered. It's not centered. Why is that? Wow. Alright, so we need to... Wow, what is happening? Maybe we just need to add it here. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense because we are centering already. We want to center the A, right? Not those I elements. Okay, so it makes sense to put the text center above the A's, right? Above the links. Above the links. So yeah, currently it should look good in my opinion. Okay, so with all of that, this is basically the social icons part done, and we can just move on to, let's call this one, we don't necessarily have to create a div, we just need to create some sort of heading, and inside here we will just call this one popular authors. So like this, and let's also add some sort of class to it. So this will be a side heading, and it will have a padding at top of around, or margin, sorry, margin at top of around 4. Yeah, and we will style it later on, so don't worry about it. I think that this should be just fine. All right, there we have it. And okay, so inside here we will actually create the sort of author part of the page. So once again, I will use a article for this, and this will have a class of, we can just use row, and then inside of this article we will have a once again a sort of div with a class of call. Even on small devices we want this to have, yeah, let's go with 3. We can always change it later on if it doesn't look good, and then we will use the remaining 9 for the text part of the badge. We maybe want to use 4, but I will maybe style it out a bit better later on. So we will want to use the class of image fluid, and we want also to have some sort of alt to it, and we also want the source, and the source should be just some sort of image, and this should be, let's go with person 2, and let's just close this thing. Oh, sorry. So I need to close it like this and save this thing, and let's see how it looks. All right, there is a person, and we also want this to be displayed as a circle, and I think I kind of messed up here because so round it where it should be, or all right, so we actually want to use border radius, and let's see what are the options for border radius. Yeah, we want this, so rounded circle, and I'm not sure whether I have added this to those elements. So let me just reload this thing. Alright, so I've obviously didn't add this to these, so let's just fix this right away. So in the section of the hero, we want to go to the author, and there we should have some sort of images. And there is a typo, so rounded circle, so sorry about it. And yeah, there it is, so it's rounded. And I've obviously copied it out, so rounded. And let's just save this thing, reload this thing. These should be circles. All right, there we have it. So cool. And let's just close this hero section. And yeah, let's just move on. So inside here, we want to have some sort of details about the author. So let's just give it an age of 5. So heading of level 5, and this will be just John Doe. And there should be some sort of small, simple paragraph about him, just like, you know, a couple of words, some sort of punchline. So let's just use like this part, and let's just copy paste it. All right, cool. And let's just also add a social links. So div with the class of social links. And inside here, we will have just a couple of hrefs, right? So we will have a link to your social account, and there should be like the Facebook and other social networks. So I will just copy paste these things. So these should be like the social networks of the author, right? So copy and paste it right inside here. Let's see how it looks. All right, so we have the person, we have some sort of text, and we have some sort of link. So let me actually make the text even smaller a bit. It looks a little weird, and yeah, we can then style it a bit. So let me just for now copy and paste these social links, so that we have links for every social network that we may want to use. So Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So inside here, let's just change this one to Twitter, and let's just change this one to YouTube Play. So FA YouTube Play. If you want to use different icons, feel free to just search for them in the Font Awesome page, and feel free to use those. Yeah, there we have it. So yeah, it looks kind of cool. We will style it once again later on. We maybe want to do a bit of styling now, because we will just copy paste these. So this should mean less work for us later on. So the paragraph have actually some sort of margin to it added by default. We want to remove this, and we can just remove it by typing margin 0. And it should remove the margin, right? As you can see, right now it's right underneath it. If we just add this class even to the h5, let's see how this will look now. Once again, right, there was a margin, and it looked kind of weird with it. But yeah, so this is just one part of the... Let's actually see how it would look if we use 4 and then 8 for this thing. Let's see if I reload this thing. It actually looks a bit better in my opinion, so let's just go with that. And yeah, we obviously want to add some sort of space to the to every one of those authors. So let's just also add a class author, because we may want to use this later on. And then let's also add some margin at the bottom, and let's just add a free like this. So let's just copy paste these. We will have, let's say, 4 authors, and let's also change those images so that it looks a bit better. So I will just go here and just change these to person 4, person 3, and this one to person 1. And let's reload the page and see how it looks. All right, there it is. There we have our authors, and cool. So another thing that we want to add is the is the actual what do we want to add? Well, yeah, some sort of category, right? So we've had the popular authors right here. Right, I just want to remove this. Okay, and let's just add another heading. We maybe want to put those authors into a section. We will do it later on if we had to. And this one should be just popular categories. And wow. And we want to add some sort of categories, so let's just add some sort of class of badge. And this one, I think we can do it like a paragraph that would have a link inside it, and the paragraph should have some sort of class of badge link, and then we will have some sort of link. You can add the href to it. I won't do it for now, and this one should have like technology or whatever. And let's just add a couple of these just so that it looks a bit better, and it looks a bit more like a real blog. So and yeah, once we are done with this, we can just move on to the other part, and I think that there's nothing else. All right, it looks really weird, but we will handle it in the CSS, so don't worry about it. Yeah, cool. We maybe want to add some sort of, at least some sort of margin. So margin on what? Well, yeah, we will handle it later on. We want this only to take the width of 100%. I kind of forgot to actually add this. And we want the text to be at center. So actually, let's see. All right, so let's do it like this, text center. And let's see how it looks. If we reload this thing, we don't see anything. So we may want to use a tool that is called the developer tools. In Google Chrome, you can open it up by using the F12 button. Make sure to go to Networks and then to Disable Cache, because sometimes the browser just caches out the part of your webs, so for example CSS styles, and it loads the older version. Alright, so when we go ahead, we can notice that the badge, right, doesn't take the whole width. So let's just change this thing. So this badge will take all the available space. So it will have the width of 100%. Let's just reload this thing, see how it looks. Cool. So right now we have it. Okay, and we can maybe, so currently, if I just remove this thing and actually reload this thing, let's see. Alright, it looks kind of cool, so let's just move on with this, and then we will style it later on in the CSS kind of part. So let's just collapse this thing. This is our main blog section, and yeah, I think we are done with this, and let's just move on to the footer section. So this is our last section, so footer section, and this one should go as a footer. And why it didn't close? Alright, now it closed. Some weird stuff is happening, and yeah, we want to divide the footer. So once again, we want to use a container so that we have space around it, and then inside here we want to add a div with the class of row, and inside this div we want to add a div with the class of call. Even on middle devices, we want this to take about third of the available space, and we will just have 3 of these. So 1, 2, 3. we will have some sort of link with the class of footer logo, and it will have some sort of href to it, and yeah, it will just be the block like this, and underneath this we will have some sort of paragraph, once again some sort of punchline about what the blog does, what it's all about. So let me just copy paste a part of this text inside here. So like this, cool. And yeah, that should be about it for this part. Then we will have, let's say, another part with the heading called useful links, and we will have a unordered list of list items, and in every of those list items we will have a link, once again add the href to some sort of category or to some sort of stuff. I will just copy paste a couple of these. So you usually want to have like privacy policy, stuff like that, so contact, and I don't know, like newsletter maybe. So let's have 5 of these. Newsletter. Let's save this and reload this thing. Oh, not this one, this one. And let's go down here. As you can see, there is the one part, second part, and let's also go with the last one. And so we will have just once again an h4, and there we will have like newsletter, and then we will have some sort of form. I can just copy paste it from the navbar, right? We have a form here, so I will just take it, place it in here. That should be about it. At the end of this, so underneath this row, we want to add a kind of credits, right? So div, I'll make it big. So div with the class of width of 100 and the text of center. So text will be at center, and we want to just type in here a paragraph that will say made by me. We want to add the copyright so that nobody can steal it from us. So copyright 2020, and obviously all rights reserved. Yeah, and we can maybe add a link so that you can link it to my page later on if I have one. And yeah, let's just reload this thing, see how it looks. So there is the newsletter, and there is the kind of credits part. We can even add a class to it called credits. And yeah, let's just save this thing, and that's about it for the HTML part. Okay, so let's just move on to the CSS part. So I will just create a new folder, call this one CSS. Inside it, I will create the main.css file, and inside here we will write our styles. I have already defined a couple of colors that should look cool in my opinion. So, okay, like this. Close the comments up, and so we will kind of use that in the project, and I just keep them in here so that they are easily accessible. Okay, so let me just link this to our index file. So let's just link the CSS into this. So underneath this, I will just create a new link with the relation being a style sheet. So style sheet. And we will have an href of CSS and main CSS. And let's just close this thing, and this should do it. So what we will do? Well, let's get into it, right? Let's style this thing up. So we will first of all style the navbar. So the class navbar, or like first of all, on the whole body, we want to use in the whole body. So I will just finish this up. in the whole body we want to use the font, right? This font. So I will just copy paste this thing and paste it inside here, and this should change the font a bit. So let's just see. Yeah, if we reload this thing right now, it kind of kicked in and we can see the font being used. Then for all of those headings, right, so H1, H2, H3, H4 and H5, I think we've used only these. We want the font weight to be 700, if I'm not mistaken. That's what we imported, right? Inside, if we go here, we can see that we've imported 700 and 400. So if I reload this thing, we should get all of those headers, right? They should be bold. Cool. All right. And yeah, so let me just create a comment for header so that we can maybe navigate more easily. Wow. If we want to edit this out later on. And in the navbar, we will add a background color to it, and this one will be the whole black one. So this background. And let's paste it and let's see how it looks. It should be like completely black. Alright, it doesn't work because we have some backgrounds here. So navbar, we can remove these things, these classes, and let's reload this thing now. Alright, there we have it. So it's actually currently black, and we probably want to change the color of the text to the main one. So it should be the primary color, this one, and let's just paste it out. So we will just use kind of 3 colors, if I'm not mistaken, in this whole project. We want to add a importance to it so that it's actually cannot be overridden by some other settings. Alright, it doesn't work for some reason, so let me just go to the developer tools and actually figure out what's going on in here. So navbar brand and every link have this sort of color, right? Alright, so let's just change the color of every link. So inside here, I will just type the H, and the color of every link should be this thing. And let's just save this thing, reload this thing. Let's see how it looks. Alright, there we have it. And yeah, that looks kind of cool. I think that we can now just style the navbar brand. So navbar brand, which is basically our logo, right? And we want the font weight, so the font weight to be 700, so that it is much bolder. It should get bolder, right? It's bold. And we want the font size, so we want to make it a bit larger. So let's say like 1.5 rem. And let's reload this thing, see how it looks. It should get a bit bigger. Yeah, I think it looks kind of cool. We can maybe use even more, but that's up to you. Alright, so let's move on to this form. So how we style it in here. So what we have? We have some sort of margins to it. Not a problem. We don't want the space between those two elements, so I will just remove the margin in here. And let's see how it looks. It should be completely yeah, it is. It's like completely next to each other. We don't want the border, right? So let's just add border none. And I'm not sure how to actually, whether it would work like this, border none. Let's see if I reload this thing. I'm not sure actually. So let's just go ahead and check the Bootstrap documentation. And if we go border top left, but I don't want any. Okay, so border 0. So border 0. Okay, and this should remove the border from the text, and we don't want the button to be outline. We want it to be like success. And let's also add a class. So let's just call this button main, and we can style it in here. So button main, and this one will have the background color of this one. And we need to make it important because it would otherwise get overridden by the CSS class of Bootstrap, and the color should be the black one. And let's once again make it important like this, and let's see how it actually looks. It should yeah, it looks a bit different. Another thing that we probably need to fix is border radius. So border radius, and let's see how we can fix it. So rounded 0. All right, so if we add the class rounded 0, it will remove the border radius, right? So let's just add it to these elements, both of these, and let's just reload this thing, see how it looks. Cool, it looks a lot better in my opinion. Yeah, so let's just style the input a bit, so we can maybe do it in here as a input, and we want every input basically on the page to have a background color of, well, not the completely black one, but the darker one, so this one. So this is basically the third color that we will use in this entire project. Let's see how it looks. All right, it doesn't, we need to make it important, I think. For some reason it gets overridden, probably. So if I reload this thing, or I've made some typo, no. Yeah, so it was getting overridden for some reason. But it is cool now, and we also want to add the color. We want to change it to the primary. It probably also has to be important so that it is not overridden by another CSS style. So right now when we type, yeah, it looks kind of cool. So yeah, that's about the header. I think the header works now and it looks kind of cool. So let's move on to the hero section. And wow, this one, like this, hero section, and we will style it a little bit. So let's see, let me just collapse this whole navigation, the whole navbar, and we have the hero section. It has the class hero, so let's just target that. So hero, and it will have the background color of this one, right? So we don't want the complete black, we want the gray one that we used in the input form, right? So if I reload this thing, it should be kind of dark color, yeah, and it looks nice in the contrast of the header. Cool, so that's about it, and let's just go ahead and style these main posts, right? So what do we have here? So we have the image, and then we have those badges and the content. So we need both. Let me first of all style these badges. So dot hero post badges, and we want them to have the position absolute. So like this. We want them to be somewhere at the top. So let's say like 20 pixels, and near the right corner. So this should be also, let's say, like 20 pixels or something like that. And yeah, let's see how it actually looks right now. All right, there we have these. We want them to have a background color of, or let me just actually go ahead and check the HTML. All right, so we have like several links in here. So yeah, we don't want to style the badge like this. We want to style the hero post badges, and we want to style the link that's inside, and we want to assign to the link some background color. So background color, and how do we want to, what color we want to use? Let's just use this dark one, and as a color we will use the primary one, so it should look cool. So color, and this should be the primary one, so this one. Let's see how it looks. Alright, looks kind of cool. So let me just add another couple of classes to the links. So inside here I will just add a class with some padding, so padding of 2. Same with this thing, with the second one, and we also need to kind of split them aside. So wow, it should be display block. I think that display block should do it. So display block, and let's reload this thing, see how it actually looks. Alright, there we have it. And yeah, alright, so we need to add some, we need to align the text to center. Right, so text center. I'm not sure whether, yeah, we probably need to add it. Wow. Alright, we need to move it to this div, right? Because we want these links to have the text center. Text on center. So let's just reload this thing. Alright, there we have it. They are centered. We need to add some margin to it. So let's just add like margin bottom of 2. So that we have a bit of space between these things. Cool. And yeah, so what else? So we need to add a space to the icon, right? So with this icon, we want to write margin at right, and we want at least like 1, so that there is a bit of space between the calendar and the text. Maybe we may even want to use 2. Let's see how that would look like. So if I reload this thing, yeah, there is a bit more space. Yeah, let's also use padding on X, and let's assign like 3 to it. Let's see how that would look like. It should be like more space around it. Yeah, that looks much better. Let's see. Alright, so let me just add this class to it. Also, for some reason it's styled the same way because yeah, it's link, but yeah, I just want to add the class so that it looks better, the code looks better. Alright, so let's just once again change maybe the text size. So yeah, maybe in here we want to just change the font size, and let's make it 0.9 rem. Let's see how that would look like. Maybe we can even make it a bit even smaller, maybe like 0.8. Let's see. Wow, I don't know. Yeah, maybe this one looks better. In my opinion, it looks kind of the best. So yeah, that's this thing. Let's just also handle the this hero post content. So this hero post content is another class that we need to solve. And we also need this to be the position absolute. So like this, absolute, and we want it to be somewhere around bottom, right? So bottom will be 0. And let's just add, or maybe like something like 20 pixels, right? So that there is some space around it. Let's see if I reload this thing, how it looks. Alright, there it is. But it's very large. So maybe the image should be a bit smaller. Definitely the image should be a bit smaller. Maybe you can even do it this way by just changing these two. And let's see how that would look like. If I reload this thing, yeah, it looks kind of cool. So I will just keep it this way. And yeah, we can style the image a bit. So hero post content, and or we want the image, so the image that's inside this post. What do we want to do? Well, let's just add the border to it. So border will be 2 pixels solid, and the primary color, sorry, the primary one. this one, and let's just reload this thing and see how it looks. All right, there we have it. There is a border around the element. Looks kind of cool. And let's also add a color to this thing. So this color should be this primary color, so that we actually can see the heading and how it looks like. All right, so there is the heading. Though we are having some problems here for some reason, I will solve this right away. Let me just see how it would look like if we added some sort of full bar black, whatever, some sort of text to it. Let's see whether it will break. It should be breaking down. Let's see. Whatever. Let's just save this thing, reload this thing. All right. Yeah, it looks kind of cool. So that's like the overall first post. And let me right now actually solve those other posts. I will just maybe copy paste this thing. I think it should work, if I'm not mistaken. I may have made some sort of mistake, so that's completely usual. I think that wow, what's happening? If I just remove this thing and paste it, and we can see that we should be, if I reload this thing, let's see. All right, so there are definitely some problems, some sort of problems here. Let me just change this thing. All right, so I've pasted it. Let's reload it. All right, so there's like one heading. So let's just add some margin to this. Margin at bottom of around 3, and let's reload this thing. All right, I think that we need to also add to the hero post. We need to add the position relative to it, right? And right now, I think it should work. All right, there we have it. Yeah, though the text of the second heading, right, these two, is quite large, so we can maybe change it out so that we have a heading of level 3. I think we've originally had it, right? We've had a heading of level 3. You can maybe even like remove a couple of these last words, up to you. So heading 3. And inside here also, and let's just change the font size of these, right? So the heading 3 could be could have font size of around 1.5 rem. Let's see how that would look like. So if I reload this thing, let's see. Yeah, it looks a lot better. I think that, yeah, this is kind of long heading, I think. So if we remove this bit, see how it looks like now. Yeah, it looks a lot better. But I would definitely change this image. I would definitely make this larger. So I would just move it like this. And we want this to stay this way even on smaller devices, right? So that was a mistake. Make sure to change these to small, because we want even on mobile phone this thing to be displayed this way. So small. And let's just keep the first one the same way. And let's just see. All right, it looks a lot better, in my opinion. Cool. But we are maybe having a bit of problem seeing the text from that's in front of this. We maybe want to change this a bit. We maybe want to move those badges a bit more towards the end. So let's just move like 10 and 10. And then inside here, we also maybe want to do just 10 pixels. Let's see how that would look like. It should give us more space. Yeah, it looks, in my opinion, a lot better. Okay, and let's also add some filters to the images so that we can actually see the text better, and so that the images are are looking more cool. So let's just add the grayscale. Let's say maybe something like 50%, and let's also add the brightness, and let's make this 0.8 or something like that. So let's reload the page and see how it looks like. Yeah, it looks, in my opinion, much better. We can see the text much clearer right now, and yeah, I would probably go with this. It looks cool. We maybe want to just change those images that have the rounded circle class, so basically those avatars, right? And we want to just remove the filter. Let's just say filter none, and let's see how that would look like. So if I reload this page and see, all right, so there's image with, okay, we need to remove the space, so image rounded circle, and let's see right now. Okay, there we have it. So these images currently are having, yeah, they look kind of nice. We can maybe even add these that border that we used, this thing, we can just add it to all of those. So let's just remove this and just add it in here to all of those images that are in circle. So let's just see how that would look like. Cool, so we have it also in here. Alright, so that's basically the hero part of the website taken care of, and let's just move on to the main blog. So main blog part, and inside here, let me just first of all style the overall blog post, right? So these things. So let's see, let me just close this thing up. Let's take a look at the HTML. So that should be this one. We have some padding around it. We probably want to make this black, right? So let's just start by doing the blog post, and let's just add a background color to it, and this one should be the complete black. Let's see how that would look like. It's like the header black, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there it is. It looks cool. And let's also add some sort of well, let's change the color of these texts to be, let's see, what colors do we have? Let's use this gray one. I think this should look kind of cool. So let's just paste it and save this thing. Reload this thing. It should be gray so you can see it. Yeah, there we have it. Alright, so for some reason the heading have yeah, let's just add the green color to every heading that we use. I think that it should look cool. Yeah, there we have it. It looks definitely much cooler. Alright. And let's just style those articles. So what do we have? Blog post. So each and every blog post should have the gray background, right? So blog post should have the background color equal to this gray one. Let's see how it looks. If we reload this thing, we can see that we have, yeah, it looks kind of cool in my opinion. Let's just margin bottom. Alright. Maybe we would like the image to take even bigger part. Maybe we would like this to have like small 4, and this should be like 8. So let's see how that would look like. In my opinion, it looks definitely much better. We definitely want to remove the margins. So class margin 0. We have some sort of margins with the heading by default, right? And with the paragraphs. So let's just remove these. Let's see how that looks now. Okay. We want to add margin at the top, right? So maybe just add margin at the top of, let's say, 2. Let's see how that would look like, so that there is a bit of space at the top. Okay, all right. Yeah, maybe we can then style these badges so that they look a bit better. But overall, I think we can maybe even add some sort of shadow to it. Shadow. I'm not sure how much it would be visible because this is kind of a lot. Yeah, it really isn't seen. But anyways, I think that this is the way to go. So I will just copy paste this one and replace all of these. So because in my opinion, this one just looks a lot better. And let's just reload the page. Let's see. All right, there we have it. Yeah, I think that this one looks much cooler. We can maybe add a bit of space to the paragraph in there, but we can do it via these badges. So don't worry too much about it. Alright, so let's just, actually I think that it might look cool if we just use this blog post, if we add some sort of margin to it. So we've had a call small 8 inside of this, and let's just add some sort of border to it, and this one should be at the left, and this one should be like, let's say 3 pixels solid, and the primary color, this one. Alright, let's reload this thing, see how it looks. Alright, there is nothing visible. Okay, so wow, not sure what is happening. So let me just go to the visuals, to the developer tools, and go ahead and check this out. So we have this thing, but alright, it's not directly inside it. Alright, so there is a problem with the CSS selector. We have the blog post, but then we have row, and then we have call smart, and I accidentally just added it as a direct sibling, right? Direct child of the blog post. So right now it should actually work. All right, there we have it. And let me also change the font size of this. So we want the paragraph inside this. So let me just go ahead and just type it like this. So blog post and the paragraph inside, and we want this to have like font size of 0.9 rem. Let's go with this one. Let's see how that actually looks like. I'm not sure whether I'm targeting this correctly, so let's just change it to something really smaller. Alright, I think it got smaller. This one should be like extremely small. So if I reload this thing, it really doesn't change. So once again, let's just use the Visual Studio, the developer tools, and let's just see what happens. It's not targeted for some reason. Inside blog post, we want to target AP. Inside, wow, I've made the same mistake again in just like, I don't know, 1 second. So let's just reload this again and see. All right, there is a big change right now. So let's just make it 0.9 and reload this thing. Okay, it looks a lot better. All right, so yeah, we can maybe play a bit with these badges. So I think it was like badges. I'm not sure. Badge. All right. So we want to style the A inside. Obviously, we can use once again the predefined Bootstrap classes, but we can also do it like this. That's up to you. If we reload this thing, there should be a bit of space between these. Okay, there we have it. Let's just add some sort of padding. So padding of 0.8. Right, ideally you want to add the padding classes to it on inside here. Okay, right, you want to just type class and then, but I don't want to just copy paste it once again, so I will just do it in the CSS. But ideally you want to do it in there. Alright, so let's just change maybe the background color to the black to the primary one, and let's just change the color to the black one. So we will kind of switch things up a little bit. So let's see how that would look like. All right, there we have it, and it looks kind of cool. But I would definitely, we need to definitely add some margin to it. So the badge should have, or we can do it, this thing we can do inside here, but we need to copy this thing. So I will just add margin top of 1 rem. And let's see how that looks like now. All right, there we have it. All right, so we probably want to go with padding. So we want to add padding at top and padding at bottom. And let me just change this thing up so that it isn't this big. So let's just make it a bit smaller. Yeah, it looks much better now, I think. Cool, so these are kind of our badges in here. Another thing that we may want to do is at this blog post, just target the image in there. And we want this image, so target the image inside the blog post. And we want it to have the width of 100% and the height of 100%, no matter what. And we also need to define the object width, and this one should be cover, so that it isn't like stretched. But right now it should take the whole space, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it does. So it looks much better. Cool. Cool. So that's about it. Let's just move on to the sidebar. So inside here, let me just write a new comment for the aside. And inside here, let's just first of all style these social icons. I think I've called this. So inside here, aside, we have this row, just row. So let's just call this one social links. Like this, social links. All right. And let's just style this thing up. So social links. And let's see how it looks like now. Okay, there we have it. So let's just add a color to it of the primary one. So this thing, let's just reload this thing and see how it looks. Or we can maybe do it once again same way as here. So we can use the primary color as a background and the background color as a text color. It should look a bit better. So let's see, yeah, there we have it. But we don't have any padding around it. All right, so this thing. All right, so how do I actually fix this? The problem is that this is the link is a block element, so it is not displayed as a it's displayed as a inline, right, element, not as a block element. So we have like this sort of problem here with the padding not being added. So we can actually solve this by just typing the social links and then A and adding to it the padding top of, let's say, 2 rems, and the same goes for padding at bottom. So let's see whether that would work. It doesn't. So all right, so the problem is that basically a link is a inline element, and we cannot add like padding on y-axis to it, right? So this kind of doesn't make sense. And let's just remove these things and like this, and let's just add it to these things. So padding 4 to those divs. Div is a block element, so we can definitely do this. Let's just save this thing, reload this thing. It should get, there's a space around it. Cool. All right, so let's just change the font size of this. Maybe we can even add a bit more padding on this y-axis. Let's see how that would look like. So if I save this thing, reload this thing, and see how it looks. Yeah, it looks much better. And we definitely want to change the, yeah, we will see. Maybe I will change it back after I change the font size. So the font size Sorry, font size should be, let's just go with 1.5. Let's see how that looks like, and let's reload the thing, and yeah, there we have it. I think it looks kind of cool. Let's just say that the middle one, let's just call this one secondary color, right? We want this to have the secondary color, obviously. And so let's just type in here the class, and let's just change the background color to the secondary. So wow, let's go all the way up, and I'm not sure what's the last number, so I will just make up my last number. Let's go with 8, and let's save this thing, reload this thing, and see how it looks like. It should be, yeah, or maybe we can just completely switch things up in here. Use this background color, or is it, yeah, we want to use the gray one, so gray one as the background color, and we want to use this as a color, so like this. Let's just remove this thing, see how it looks now. I think it should look quite cool. It should get, yeah, I like this. Let's just move on with this. Alright, so this should be like the social links taken care of. Then we have the heading, so let's just go ahead and style the heading. So a side heading, and what do we want to do? Let's just add some sort of border to the left. So same thing that we did with the article. I think it looks kind of cool, so I will just use it once again. Wow, I'm not sure which color, so this should be border, like this, and let's see how it looks like. There should be a border around it. Okay, there we have it. We maybe want to add some padding to it, so padding to left of at least like 2. So the same thing will go here, and let's see how that looks now. Okay, there we have it, and it looks kind of cool in my opinion. Let's also add some padding to the aside. So let's say just padding of 3, because it's currently kind of large. I want the padding on x-axis to be at least 3. Maybe we can even go with 4. We'll see. Alright, let's see how it would look like if we used 4. Yeah, 4 looks better in my opinion. Let's just go with 4. And alright, so that's just the headings kind of taken care of. I think this kind of simple look yeah, I think this is the way to go. So let's just move on and also add margin at bottom to this of at least 3, so that we have a bit of space between the headings and the content underneath it. Okay, that looks better. And then we have the kind of author. There's the problem with these social link icons. The problem is that it is styled this way, right? And we don't want that. So let's just call this one social links author, or yeah, probably this should go at the beginning. So author social links, and we want to add it at the beginning of every author. So let's just change each and every one of these, so that we can actually style this somehow differently than these other links, social links. I'm aware that you can do it even as a you could target it, right, via this author class, and we can target a social link inside author class, but it would be, in my opinion, just too complicated. I think that just overriding this is a way to go. So we've got our authors kind of ready. I think it looks kind of cool. We can change the font size of the author. So inside the author, if we have a paragraph, I want it to have a font size of like 0.8. Let's see how that would look like. So if I reload this thing, it should get a lot smaller. Maybe we can go with 0.9. That's probably better. So 0.9, and it should get a bit larger, right? So that you can actually read it. We can actually put a bit of space between those icons, between those social icons. I will leave it up to you. If you want to do that, you can just add a class to this link and basically add the space to it. If you just want to do it otherwise somehow via the CSS, you can just use the author social links, and then inside here just add, we want to target every A, and we want it to have like margin left of around, I don't know, 0.8 rem. Let's see how that looks now. I think that there should be a bit of space. Alright, there we have it. Looks kind of cool, so I will just leave it this way. And let's just move on to the popular categories. So let's just style the popular categories. I think the heading is kind of taken care of, so let's just move on to all of those badges. So we have badge and badge links. Wow, so how the hell we style this? Badge.a had a background color of, alright. So yeah, let's just use the badge.a. We may even want to just, yeah, let's just actually remove this thing and just copy paste this thing. So that it is actually taken care of. So if I remove this thing and reload it, let's see how that actually looks. Yeah, it looks much better. So let's just add a couple of thousand of more of these. So Bootstrap, JavaScript, HTML, a lot of typos. And let's run this, see how it looks. Alright, there we have it. But it kind of continues forever, so we want to add a width of 100%. Let's see how that looks now. Wow, what's happening? So what is happening? So let's just go ahead and check out once again the visuals, the developer tools. Alright, what do we have? Okay, I see. So we've had a bit of problem. The badge class is actually also a class in the Bootstrap file. So that was a kind of bad naming, if you want. So let's just change this to badges. And right now, if we just change this, let's just copy paste this, because I really like how these badges look right here. Somehow by mistake it was styled kind of good, kind of cool in my opinion. So yeah, there we have badges. Right now it kind of goes back, breaks the line. And let me just actually fix this by display as a inline block. So inline block. And let's just add some sort of margin to it. So let's just add margin of like 0.2 rem. Let's see how that looks now. So if I reload this thing, there we have it. It looks kind of cool in my opinion. So we have margins around it. If I just copy paste these and put a lot more of these in there, it should look much better. So like this, yeah, it looks a lot better in my opinion. So I will just paste it one more time, and we will have a lot of badges inside here, a lot of popular categories. So cool. And these badges are styled still the same way. So yeah, that looks kind of cool. So let's move on and actually finish up by styling the footer. So let's go back in here and let's just style the footer. So and let's go back to the file and actually check out how the footer is styled. So we have a footer. Let's just add some padding to it. So padding on the y-axis of around 4. Let's go with that. And we can maybe add the footer class to it so that we can style it easier in our CSS file. And yeah, let's just go right away and just add to the footer class some sort of background color. We can go with the completely black one because we've used gray one in here. So down here, if we use the complete black one, it looks kind of cool. Then we have kind of footer logo, if I'm not mistaken. So inside the row, we have footer logo class. So we want to display this thing a bit differently. We want to display it pretty much the same way as the navbar brand. So let's just add it in here. So footer logo, and let's see how that looks like. If I will load the page and it doesn't work, so I've maybe made some mistake. Navbar, okay, obviously not navbar, but navbar brand. Sorry about it. So if I reload the page right now, there should be a bit of difference. Yeah, there we have it. But as I look at the page, I think we went wrong, and the background should be actually the gray one. So sorry about it. So the gray one, this one, and let's also add the color to it. So color, and we want the text to be seen. So let's just go with this color, and let's reload the page and see how it looks like now. All right, there we have it. Useful links made by me. Okay. Also, we want to style this thing, and we basically why this isn't styled the same way as the one in the header. Let's see. Let me just copy paste the one from the header. So from the navbar. So I'll just copy paste it once again because we've added a lot of classes to it, right? So it's probably there are some classes missing. So let's just reload this thing and see how it looks. It should look a lot better. Yeah, there we have it. Probably want to change the color because it really isn't seen, right? We don't see the input. So if we go ahead and just type footer and some input inside it, and we want the background color of this input to be like the complete black one so that we can actually see it. And let's just reload it, and it should be black. It doesn't work if I'm not mistaken. All right, we have a typo in here, but I'm not sure whether I've somehow messed up. Probably I did. So footer, and we have some sort of input inside of it, right? So this should be correct. What's the problem? Footer, and we have a input inside. Yeah, we need to make this important. And let's see whether it works now. If I reload the page, there we have it, it's black. And we still have like some sort of green color text. Alright, and let me just maybe change all of the link settings. We should have the color of this to be... Alright, why it isn't green? So why these things isn't green? Let's just make this one important. It's probably overwritten somewhere. So if I reload the page, I mean, it looks kind of cool still in the gray, but I think in the green color it will look better. But that caused a whole lot of problems in here. So let's just actually remove this thing. Save this. Reload this page, whether it was solved. Yeah, there we have it. So it's solved, and let's just also change it directly in the footer. So inside here we will have a footer, and we want to target a link in there, and we want the color of the link to be this thing. Let's see whether that works. So if I reload the page, and yeah, all right. So also we want the footer And yeah, we can maybe even leave out those dots. I think it looks kind of cool. And yeah, we probably want to just change the font size of the paragraph inside footer. So footer p, and let's just change the font size of this to 0.8, 0.9. And let's save this thing and reload it and see how it looks now. It should look a bit better. There we have it. Yeah, in my opinion, it looks kind of cool. We can maybe add some sort of social links to it. Oh, there we have it. There's the change. So let's just take this thing and actually add it back again. So I've made a mistake by completely taking it out. So we should have it back again. Okay, there it is. It's green now, but I think that this font is maybe looks a bit larger than it should be. So let's just target this thing. Let's see, it's H3 in blog post. So where we have blog post here. So blog post H3. And we want to change the font size of this. So font size of this, and let's just make it 0 or 1.2. Let's see how that would look like. That would be maybe too small, probably too small. If I reload the page, let's see, yeah, it's too small. So let's just go with 1.4. Let's see how that would look like. I think 1.4 might look cool. Yeah, there we have it. Probably the sweet spot in my opinion. And yeah, that's about it in my opinion. I think we've completely designed the page. So yeah, that's a fairly simple page. So nothing too interesting about it. And let's just move on actually to the detail page. Okay, so in order to actually create the detail page, we can just simply copy paste this index file and just change it. So rename this to detail.html. And yeah, so let's just change this to detail block. And let's actually go ahead and you can just open it up in your browser, the file. I will just type it in here. Oh, sorry. And let's just hit enter. Yeah, detail block. So you should see this sort of title. And yeah, and let's just edit this thing out. So the navbar will actually stay the same, right? Then we have some sort of content, the hero section, and this will kind of become the main section in here. And let's just edit this thing out. So what do we have? So instead of this main post, we will have the actual content of the article. So let's just add maybe a comment in here. So this one should say content, like this. And this should be kind of it. We will still keep these things. So these hero posts. We can maybe add a couple more of these. So like this. All right, and yeah, we maybe want to add some sort of couple of things from this aside to it. So definitely the social links, we can add these out. So social links, and even the heading, I think we can maybe name this thing out. So inside here, I will just close these things out and paste it in here. So we will have these social links, and then instead of, wow, and also let me just copy paste these things. So Control X, and so we will also have these tags in there. So let's just paste it underneath, save it. Let's see how it looks like. All right, so there's nothing. There's social links. Popular authors should be changed. So this will be changed to popular posts. And then we have popular categories at the end. There we have it. So yeah, that looks kind of cool in my opinion. I wouldn't change this. It looks kind of cool. It's a lot of blogs have this sort of structure, if you want. I maybe want to change this font size because it's maybe too big in my opinion. So let's just change the H3 font size, where it is in here, and let's just change it to 1.4. Maybe it will look a bit better. Yeah, I think it looks much better. So let's just change it to 1.4. So all of those will have 1.4. Also, let's just change one of these socials, right? So this should be secondary. This should be like, let's just call this one primary, whatever. And if we go to the main, and where we have it, so hero underneath, we have the aside social links. So secondary color, there should be a primary color, and this one should have the background color of this complete black, and then this color should be the same. So let's see how that looks like now. This should change. All right, there we have it. So cool. And all right, let's just move on and just create the content. So we will have a image, right? This one will have the class of image fluid so that it fits the whole screen. Alt will be empty, and the source will be just a image, and let's just use this one. All right, so we should have a image in here. Let's just reload the page, see how it looks like. There we have it. All right, so a huge image, and let's just add a shadow to it so that we can actually see it a bit better. I'm not sure how, yeah, it really isn't big difference, so don't worry about it too much. All right, so underneath, we want to add the heading. So this one should be probably H1 because that's basically the main heading of the article. And we also probably want to do this inside a row. So we will have a div class row. And inside of this, we will have a div with the class of call. Even on small devices, we want it to be like 2. And then we have the second div one. So let's just copy paste this thing. So copy, paste, boom, and this one should be 10. And inside the big one, we will have the heading. And inside the small one, we will have the name of the, the image of the author, right? So image of the class of image fluid. And this should be a rounded circle. Circle, and the source of this should be from images, and let's just go with the person one, and let's save it, see how it looks like. So if I reload the page, and there is the person one, we cannot see really the title because we didn't write anything. So my blog title, foo bar blog foo. All right, and let's see how that looks like. It should be green. Yeah, there we have it. And it's kind of large, but I don't think that this is a problem. I think that it looks kind of cool. So let's just add some sort of padding to the whole row. So let's just add like padding of 3 to it. All right, that looks much better. And okay, I think that we are ready to add maybe some content. Maybe we can even add some badges to it. So let's just add these things. So copy, paste it, simple as that. And let's reload the page, see how it looks like. All right, there we have it. So kind of cool. We can maybe add some sort of padding of 3 to it so that it on the x-axis actually. So on the x-axis, we want to have a bit of space around it. Cool. Another thing that we want to do is actually maybe just call this one content and actually style it in our CSS. So let's go down here and let's create a new comment for the detail page. And inside here, we want to just use the content that we just created. And we want to use the background color, and we want to make it gray, or no, black one, right? So the complete black one, this one, and let's see how it looks. It should be black. Yeah, there we have it. Looks kind of cool. And the color, if not specified, should be this one. I'm not sure whether it will change the color of these things. Let's see. It doesn't, so that's cool. It will only change the color of those posts, right? Of the paragraphs. So cool. Let me just add a couple of paragraphs. So inside here we can just generate it in the HTML. So let's just add like 5 of these. All right, there we have it generated for us. So all of those paragraphs, just copy paste it. Obviously, you want to just add the content of your blog, but since we don't have any content, we can maybe even put it inside a div with the class p-content. And inside here we will have all of our paragraphs. So I just copied paste the generated lorem ipsum text. And let's see how it actually looks. So if I go here, reload the page, it should be completely at the edges, so we don't want that. So in here we will have definitely a padding on the X of 3. So this should add a bit of space around it. So yeah, that looks much better. We can maybe add even more. So let's see how it would look like if we add like 4. It looks kind of cool. We can maybe add it like even at the top and at the bottom. It should look much better. So yeah, there is a bit of space right now. And that looks kind of cool. All right, so but overall I think we've got this. I think overall this is our actual page. We can maybe like add some buttons to it, maybe some links, so that it looks cooler. But yeah, overall I think we've got it. Maybe we can just, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we can maybe just change these hover effects and stuff like that. But yeah, definitely we can change this. So let's go back to main, and I think we want to change like a.hover, and let's just change the text decoration to none. And let's see how it looks. So if I reload the page and hover over some stuff, all right, we don't have the underlining. All right, cool. And let's just change the color to maybe something. Let's just go with complete white. Let's see how that would look like. This will kind of kill your eyes, but let's see. So if I hover over it, there's no change. Let's see. All right, there we have it. So yeah, I don't think that the white looks bad. I think it looks kind of cool. Inside here we have the gray one, so that looks also nice. Yeah, so I will probably leave it this way. It's up to you if you want to edit this out a bit more. But yeah, this is basically our blog worked out. So if you enjoyed it, feel free to hit the like button, feel free to hit the subscribe button to see more of these, and I'll see you next time.